listening to the Let's Talk About podcast with me, your host, Mumbi Johnson, and let's get into this episode. Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Let's Talk About podcast. I'm your host, Mumbi Johnson. If you're new here, and if you're not, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for listening and taking the time out of your day to listen to my voice. But I'm super excited about today's episode because it's a topic that I'm super passionate about and I've been wanting to talk about for a really long time. And I feel like this is the perfect time to do it. You know, it's spring, new us, not necessarily new us, but like a new season of our lives, let's call it that. So today's topic is going to be how to create your dream reality, how to live your dream life, how to unlock the potential to be able to live your dream life. And this is always a popular topic because everyone wants to improve. That's why there's so many self-help books, self-improvement books, channels, podcasts, all this kind of stuff, because people genuinely want to get better, have a better version of themselves. And I just want to put a little disclaimer. You don't always have to be changing yourself if you're okay with the state that you are in now. If you're living your dream life right now, you don't have to keep changing and evolving. You don't have to feel pressured or overwhelmed to keep changing your life. If you're satisfied, live your life to the fullest. It's your life. You can do whatever you want with it. But I know there are some people who are in positions where they want to get better. They want to improve their situations, whether that's financial situations, relationship situations, like all these kinds of things. So that's where self-improvement comes in. But before we get into today's topic, I just want to give like a little weekly update, I guess you could call it. I got a new microphone, in case you haven't noticed, so I hope that the quality is really good. However, there are people in their backyard that are playing music really loud, so hopefully it's not coming through the microphone. I tried to put a little bit of audio suppression, like to take away the background noise, but who knows if it's going to block out all of it. So I'm sorry if you hear any noise in the background that's not supposed to be in this episode. It's spring and I'm wearing a very springy outfit, matches with my little decorations over here. That was completely unintentional, but I was like, it's spring, let me put on something spring-like. However, in the spring I do get pollen allergies, so I'm always sneezing. I have to take my allergy medication in the morning, and I think my face is also breaking out because of the pollen, so it's a whole thing. But I'm feeling good. I'm not feeling as sneezy today, but it rained last night, so maybe that took away some of the pollen. What else? It's really setting in for me that I'm leaving high school very soon. In like less than 2 months is my graduation, and that's crazy to even believe. How am I already graduating? That's so crazy. I want this summer to be super fun. I want to hang out with my friends as much as I can because I know that we're not going to be in the same place. Some of my friends are going to be in the same place, so they're going to see each other, but I'm not going to be in that same state with them. So I want to just spend as much time with my friends and like really enjoy their company while I have it. I still have work to do as a senior. Like I'm still trying to, do my work and not slack off, because I know there's like the senior slump and stuff like that people do. Believe it or not, I still am getting a lot of work that I have to finish. So that's another thing on my plate. Also, last episode was a collaboration episode, and it was one of the best podcast episodes ever. I really like collaborating. I really like talking with other people and learning about them, learning about what they do, and just like connecting with people. It's really fun. So if you haven't heard that episode, you can go check it out. It was really fun. It's very conversational, because when I do these by myself and it's just like me talking, it's very one-sided because I'm not getting like another person responding to me. So I love actually having conversations with people. I want this to feel kind of like a conversation. It's not going to completely sound like a conversation because you're just listening to what I'm saying. Go check that episode out. It was really fun getting to meet the guest Shanti Unique and learn about her passions and also how she's healed from some traumas and some situations in her life. So if you're all about healing, that was a really great episode. And yeah, I'm really just feeling the spring vibes. So I have my matcha green tea in this mug that my friend got me for my birthday. It says, "You make my day brighter," and that was very sweet. But honestly, you guys do make my day brighter because I just feel so good being able to share my craft and talk to an audience and bring happiness and joy to other people's day-to-day lives. And if I could be one thing that was positive in your day, such a great feeling, and I love to spread that positivity. And yeah, that's some good tea. So I think that's it for my weekly update. Let's talk about the actual topic of the day, which is creating, manifesting your dream life and making it a reality. There are 3 people that I mainly watch for advice on this sort of subject, or other sorts of subjects too, but like their advice channels. One of them is not, but 2 of them are. The 3 that I'm referencing today and that I took notes from all of their videos and things like that to just tell you about the main takeaways that I got from these, researching these videos and watching them. So these 3 channels are Alicia Gogan on YouTube, Fernanda Ramirez on YouTube, and The Wizard Liz on YouTube as well. So Alicia Gogan and The Wizard Liz are mainly just advice channels, like bettering your life, glowing up, creating this dream life. That's what their channels are all about. Fernanda does some like advice and like how to level up your vibrations and create your dream life and stuff like that. But she also does like vlogs and stuff. So those are the 3 main people that I'm going to be referencing today, and kind of just giving you like my little bit of input on this topic as well. So the first thing that I want to talk about is manifestation. And a lot of people, when it comes to manifestation, they think about, oh, it's all this spiritual voodoo stuff. I don't know what people believe, but that's not necessarily what it is. Basically, manifestation is the belief that you're bringing things into your life. Well, like bringing the things that you desire into your life, and having this belief that life is not happening to you, but it's happening for you, and you're creating your life through different actions, beliefs, thoughts. I'm going to be referencing Alicia Gogan for this part. So basically she talked about this. She talked about how from a young age she looked at these like manifestation things, trying to attract the life that she wanted, because her life wasn't her ideal life. She was going through a lot of different situations that weren't pleasant, or just that she wasn't happy with. And not that she had much control over those situations, but she always had a desire to change things up and make things more positive for her, make her life her dream life. But then she talked about how you can't only be a dreamer, you actually have to take actions toward creating that dream of a life that you want, because it's not just going to come automatically. If you dream about, let's say, getting $1 million this year, if you don't do something that's going to help you move forward in that direction, I mean, you might win the lottery and that's great, but winning the lottery, there's a very slim chance. And if you're wishing to win the lottery, I wish the best of luck to you. But realistically, if you said that you wanted to make $1 million this year, and you're still at your job that's not paying you very well, or you're not doing anything on the side to like help you get to that goal that you want, or you're not changing anything in your routine from what it already is, where you're not making $1 million a year, then realistically that $1 million is not going to manifest in real life, because there has been no action taken to try and even achieve that $1 million. And I understand that it's very easy to dream and fantasize about this version of your life that you have in your head. It's like your ideal perfect life, because I do it all the time. Like I'm so guilty of this. I literally dream about everything: my first apartment, my first house, how my life's gonna look like, what kind of job I want, the places I want to go. Like I'm literally dreaming about this life that I want, and it's so fun to dream about it. But if you don't take actions to lead you towards that life that you want, then it's never going to become a reality. And then you'll be left unsatisfied, because you're like dreaming all these possibilities but not doing anything, and then your life is not looking like your ideal life. I'm not going to be ignorant and say that people don't have situations or circumstances that they can't change, right? It's going to take work at some level to kind of make your life a reality, but not everyone has an ideal circumstance, or they're not in a privileged position to just change their life whenever they want to, or do certain things that would make their life look like their ideal life, because there's a bunch of different factors like money. Not a lot of people have the money to just up and go and do this and do that, and so it's going to look different for everybody how you get to that ideal version of yourself. But even the small tiniest efforts to try to embody that version of yourself, it's all going to count in the end. because you're just making those tiny footsteps forward to becoming the ideal version of yourself and creating that dream life. So don't let this cycle of dreaming about your life and then doing the same routine rule your life, because you want to break out of that cycle. You want to start doing different things that will help you to live that life that you are dreaming of. And in essence, manifesting is aligning to the things, the people, the places, the whatever it is that you want in your life or where you want to go in your life. And the way that you align to these desires is to take action. So taking action is the biggest, like one of the biggest takeaways of manifesting and creating your dream life. If there is no action being taken to get there, it's realistically not going to happen. So if you want to be a person who reads and you have not picked up a book in the last 2 years to read for leisurely reading, how are you going to become a reader? Like, it's not just going to automatically pop up in your hand and be like, oh, I'm reading. You have to take the book from your bookshelf or the library or whatever it is and read it. It is, as self-explanatory as that sounds, people just think that, oh, if they wish that something's going to happen, it's going to happen. Yes, wishing, lucky girl syndrome could work, but there's realistically the people that you see at the top, they've taken action to get themselves to that position. Whether it's any sort of celebrity, they went through acting classes or they worked their way up from small TV shows to big Hollywood blockbuster movies. Like, they put in work and effort to get to that position. They didn't just wake up and it was there. So taking action will help you to achieve your dream life. And we are the creators of our own lives. We literally can write the narrative, change the narrative at any point in time, because we are the creators of our life. We have control. And one thing about creating your dream life is gaining that control and that power to change your life. No one else is going to sit down and write your life for you unless you let them. You really need to just believe that you are the creator of your life and really take that belief and put it into action. And I've talked about this as well in my main character energy episode, and I feel like some other episodes too, but everything sort of combines together or relates to one another. If something that I'm saying sounds repetitive to another episode that I've made, just know that these things relate to each other. They correlate, they correspond, whatever the word is that you want to use for this, but they relate to each other in some way. So as I've just mentioned, you need to take responsibility for your life, and this is based on your routines and your habits. Habits and routines are a big part of this. If you have this ideal version of yourself that wakes up early every morning, eats a well-balanced meal, goes bike riding every day, reads for an hour every day, I don't know, it could be whatever you want, practices piano for an hour every day, but in your current routine or set of habits, you're not doing that. You know what I mean? If you're not even practicing piano for once a week, how are you matching up to your ideal version of yourself? And if your routine is getting up, snoozing your alarm 3 times, getting up late and groggy and cranky, not eating a well-balanced meal in the morning or late afternoon, not even stepping foot outside to go on that bike, not even going into the room where the piano is to practice it, at this point it's you just need to be aware of your routines and your habits that are preventing you or limiting you from going after that ideal life, and take responsibility for your routines and habits. Be like, oh, it's kind of my fault that I'm not doing what it is I want my ideal version of myself to do. You need to take responsibility, be aware, be realistic, and that's the thing. And your routine doesn't have to be super crazy or anything. Don't make it unrealistic to the point where you're not going to be able to do it, but you do want to have a routine that's going to establish this routine, I guess, to become the best version of yourself. Another thing that I wanted to touch on is believing in yourself. A lot of people believe that they can't do what their ideal version of themselves would do. They believe that they can't wake up early. My body's way too tired to wake up early, or I can't do that exercise. It's too much for me, or it's impossible for me to make time to read a book every day or read a certain amount of pages of a book every day. Or it's I don't have time for this. Or even just not being confident enough to pursue this dream version of yourself. You have to believe in yourself, and that's another main thing that you should take away from this episode. Believing in yourself is so important. To be perfectly honest with you, you are going to be your number one supporter. There is no one else who's going to support you the way that you can support yourself. Let that sink in. When all else fails, if there's other people in your life that are not necessarily believing in you, you need to be your number one fan. Just as you would support someone else, you need to put that energy into supporting yourself as well. And this is not to be selfish. This is not to be narcissistic. This is to help you. This is to benefit you. Yes, you can still support other people, cheer them on, right? When they're doing something, like maybe they're creating a new business, or they're starting a YouTube channel, or they're starting a new job. You cheer them on, but you need to take that same sort of energy to cheer yourself on your path to becoming your best version of yourself. And a lot of people don't do this. I'm grateful that I grew up in a household where my parents instilled in me this belief that I can do whatever I want to do. I mean, meaning like whatever I put my mind to, I can achieve. I feel like my dad has played a major role in this motivational aspect of me, because for one thing, he would always put on like motivational speeches, whether it was like Steve Harvey or some other celebrities, Oprah, but like he would look it up on YouTube and just play motivational speeches for me to listen to and for me to be inspired from. And I'm really grateful that he really instilled like this belief that you can go after your dreams, chase your goals. You can do it. However, not everyone is fortunate to have people in their family that are maybe supportive of them, or maybe they don't have really good friends. Maybe their friends are toxic and are not supportive, or whatever the case may be. But regardless, when those people aren't around, you need to be that number one supporter for yourself. And you need to believe that you can do it, because you can do it. You are amazing. You're creative. You're intelligent. Like, you're smart. You can do these things, but you just have to believe that you can. If you think about it, the people who are living maybe some aspects of their life are what you aspire to live like. These people believe in themselves. They're not posting on YouTube being like, oh, I'm never gonna get to however many subscribers, or I'm never gonna be able to do brand deals, or like, they're not having that mentality. They're going after their dreams, they're doing what they want to do, and they're gaining these opportunities from it. So you need to believe in yourself, and also you have to switch the mentality from being like, oh, this can only happen to other people, it can't happen for me. Like, no, it can happen for you, girl. You just gotta get up and chase that dream. Like, you got this. If you needed any motivation today, you got this. Whatever it is you want to do it, period. So the next thing I want to talk about is being okay with changing it up, because there's going to be a change happening. I don't know what it's going to look like for you, but in order to achieve that dream life that you are not currently living, you got to change something up. It could be putting yourself out there more. Maybe if it's starting something on social media, whether it's podcasting or YouTube or singing or acting or something related to putting yourself out there, whatever field it may be, you got to do that, or else you're not going to get recognized. You're not going to further your career in that field. And this is something that I had to learn, because when I was struggling with my confidence, I wasn't like wanting to put myself out there, because I still wasn't like confident within myself. As I've gotten more confident within myself, I'm like, no, I'm doing this proudly. I have to put myself out there, whether it's linking my other socials to this and having people find my podcast, my digital content. I have to put myself out there, or else I'm not going to get an audience. I'll just be talking to myself. And this could also look like a change could look like changing up your routines. If something's not working for you, change it up, or learning something new, switching what you already know to maybe looking at it from a new perspective. So there's so many ways that you can change it up from what's currently in your life to make it lead towards your dream life. And I think another one, this is one that Fernanda pointed out, was that you have to be okay with failing and being cringy. You have to be okay with possibly failing and or being cringy, because especially if you're wanting to start something where you have to put yourself out there, you know, whether it's your first acting gig, your first modeling gig, your first YouTube video, your first song, it might not be the number one hit on billboards, but you tried. Even if the first one might have been a fail, your second one's better, your third one's even better, the fourth one's even better. your songs will keep getting better because you're putting in effort, you're trying, you're practicing, you're trying harder, practicing, whatever it is. And eventually you're going to get to where you want to be as long as you keep putting in the work, the effort, the whatever it is. And also you have to be okay with being cringy because you're not going to be perfect on the first try. And if you are, congrats to you. But most of us are not going to be perfect on the first try. It takes time to really be comfortable, see what works for us. And you can't be afraid of what people are going to say about you to pursue what you want to do, right? Because it's like your life, and their comments, their opinions shouldn't matter towards you, what you want to do. So if someone else thinks that, or they don't necessarily believe that you're going to be successful at something, why not? It's not their life. They're not the ones creating the content. They're not the ones writing the book. You're the one writing the book. And if someone doesn't like it, that's their choice. That's their opinion. But you're living the life of your dreams because you're having that self-validation and not caring about what other people think, because this is your life that you are choosing to live, and you're literally writing out your story. So what they have to say doesn't matter. Just keep doing your thing. Keep striving for that goal, that dream life, and you're going to eventually get it. You might become a best-selling author, but your first book maybe wasn't the best book. But by your 10th book, or maybe less than that, maybe by your 5th book, people are gravitating to your books and really appreciating you as an author, as an artist. And all this stuff should be self-fulfilling. Like, you should feel fulfilled by the things, the actions that you're doing that are creating your dream life. And this also involves getting out of your comfort zones, or your comfort zone. But getting out of your comfort zone, because if you're super comfortable where you're at right now and like you don't want to change anything, but you're not living the life that you want because you haven't changed anything, that's sort of contradictive. And you need to just like branch out a little bit, get out of your comfort zone, try new things and fail, try new things and succeed, either or. But just get out there, do your thing. 21, can you do something for me? 21, do your thing. 21, do your thing. Do your thing. 21. Okay, but let's be serious. Changing your life is not going to be easy, and change in general isn't easy. We all have to adapt and evolve to the change that's happening in our lives, especially when it's intentional. It's going to feel like you're shaking it all up, but that change is very necessary. And it involves discipline, the big D word. Discipline. Discipline is not easy. For the life that you want to live, you're going to have to push yourself to do things that are not going to be comfortable. Speaking of getting out of our comfort zones, we're going to have to do things that aren't comfortable to live our dream lives, because we are currently in the state of being in our little comfort zone, right? We don't want to change anything. This just feels right. It's not stressful. I'm just doing my thing. You got to push yourself, literally just push yourself out of that comfort zone, make those changes, and get the things that we're working towards. So this could look like putting extra hours into your work. If you're not performing the best or to the highest level that you want to be performing at, you got to put in those extra hours. Make your work the best work that it could possibly be. You want to get better at a sport? If you're currently just practicing once a week, how do you think you're going to make it onto that team where all the players are practicing at 5 days a week? I'm not a sports person. I used to be. I used to play volleyball. Competitiveness is not in my nature, so left that. But to be honest, I wasn't practicing as much as the other girls on the team, and they were great. They're still great. Like, props to them, because volleyball it's intense, but like, I wasn't putting in that effort, partially because I didn't really want to. I enjoy beach volleyball, and like volleyball that's not like super, competitive, but just for fun. But that was like intense, like competitive volleyball, and I was like, not really for me. But regardless, even if I really was into that, and I was only practicing at like 2 days a week, it'd probably take me a really long time to get to the level that those other volleyball players are at, because they're putting in the work, they're putting in the hours to be that good and level up their skills. Or if you want to get better at playing an instrument like guitar, if you're only practicing once a week, maybe you're not going to be the best at playing guitar. But if you want to be like this pro guitar player, you got to put in a little bit more work to be a pro guitar player. You need to, be strumming up those strings in order to become the best guitar player. So you have to put in the work to see the results that you would want to see in your dream life, your ideal reality. The next thing that I want to talk about is setting goals and intentions for yourself. What is the goal? What is the intention? What is it that you want your dream life to look like? And some great practices for this are visualization. Why do you want to have these things? How does it make you feel to have these things or these skills, whatever it is? Because if you visualize, and I'm pretty sure if you're already dreaming, if you have a dream life, you've already visualized it, but there is this intention, there is this goal that you want to achieve. And these goals, whether you write them down or put them in your notes app, these goals are going to give you drive, motivation to do things that will lead you to your dream life. It's going to give you that drive and purpose. So write down those goals. What is it that you want to achieve? What is it that your dream or your ideal version of yourself is achieving in that dream life that you have? Another thing is vision boards. Vision boards, as much as they are fun, they're also very helpful with visualization and literally seeing what it is you want to achieve. If you have a big vision board posted on your wall or something, and you wake up every morning and you look at it and you're like, that's what I want to achieve, that's something that you're going to be working towards every day, because you are constantly seeing these images of how you want your life to be like, and you're going to want to work towards that goal. And I know it's very common for people to make vision boards in the beginning of the year. I did that in January, new year, new me, that sort of mentality. But you can make vision boards whatever time feels right for you. You don't necessarily have to do this on January 1st or December 31st. 2022, whatever. You can make it now. You can make it for every season. You can make it for every month. I don't know. Whatever works for you. You can always switch up the vision if it's not aligning with what you truly want. It's always great to feel inspired, to have this drive to go after the things that you want in your life. I already said writing them down. That's always helpful, but you can have daily goals, you can have weekly goals, you can have monthly goals. So whatever goals work for you. Changing routine. I've talked about this a little bit before, but change up your routine. Write down a new routine that you want to start implementing into your life, whether it's a new morning routine, new school routine, new after school routine, new night routine, weekend routine. I don't know. Whatever routine it is that you want to implement into your life, make a new one. Create something that's going to align with the visions that you have for where you want your life to go. And another thing is letting yourself change and evolve. And it's scary change is scary. And I'm not going to deny the fact that it's scary. But we need to overcome that fear of leaving what it is behind that we have right now and chasing after what we want our lives to look like. So you have to let go and let the change come and embrace that change, because the change is going to happen. Your ideal self or your dream life requires change. So now I'm going to reference a little bit of The Wizard Liz. From what I was taking notes on before, it was mainly Alicia Gogan and Fernando Ramirez. But The Wizard Liz, I love her. She's so motivational. She'll literally read you for what it is. She's not going to play around with you and say, oh, sweetie, do this. No. She is taking it all together and she's reading you word for word. You're not doing this? Okay, well, you can never have that. And she'll literally tell you, I wrote down this quote that she said in her video of how to create your dream life. She said, people are building spaceships, becoming billionaires, and you can't fix your simple life. When I tell you she reads you for what it is, there are literally people who are building spaceships, becoming billionaires, doing their thing, living the life of their dreams. And you believe that you can't fix your simple life? Are you building a spaceship? If you are, then props to you. That's amazing. People tend to believe that, oh, all these other people are doing extraordinary things and I can't do those things, or they have this mindset, this belief that they can't be extraordinary, when the truth is you are already extraordinary. You just have to unlock that potential and realize that you're extraordinary and work towards that potential that you already have and pursue your craft, whatever it is. Live the life of your dreams. Along with this believing that everyone else can do stuff, that they're extraordinary, this comes with negative energy and vibrations sometimes, because people can tend to become envious or jealous or stuff like that, where it's really just bringing down your energy, your vibrations, and you're just looking at it as I want that, but they shouldn't have that. It's not fair. I want, that sort of mentality, which is not something that you want to have. You want to look at other people as inspiration, which I'm going to get into later because I have a great analogy for that. So in terms of creating this dream life of yours, which I'm sure is amazing, we need to address some simple questions and really get to the nitty-gritty specific details of what this life is going to look like. So the first question that I want you to ask yourself is, what reality do you want to create? And you need to really envision what this reality that you keep dreaming of is. You can write it down, whether it's like, oh, I do this every morning, I'm working a really great job, or I own my own business, or you need to write specifically what it is that your dream life entails. And be as detailed as possible, because you really want to achieve this reality. You want to get specific with what it is that you want to create. And then the second question is, who do you look up to? So I like to think of people as Pinterest boards. And I know this sounds weird, but let me explain. What I mean by this is that there are several people in my life that I look up to, whether they're content creators or celebrities or family members or friends. I guess I'll give an example. So one of my favorite content creators right now is Monet McMichael. And if you don't know who she is, you should totally go look her up, see her content, because I think it's honestly so fun to just watch her live the life of her dreams, literally. I just take so much inspiration from her. In my depiction of like these people as Pinterest boards, I envision Monet McMichael as one Pinterest board, and then I have Fernando Ramirez as another Pinterest board, and then I have my mom as one Pinterest board, and then I have, I don't know, Oprah as one Pinterest board. And then in order to create my Pinterest board, Mumbi's Dream Life, I go through their Pinterest boards, take images or experiences or things that they have in their life, different attributes and qualities, and I pin them to mine. So for example, from Monet's Pinterest board, I pin the experiences like going to music festivals, going to the SZA concert, or attending concerts in general, getting brand deals into my Pinterest board. And then from Fernando Ramirez's Pinterest board, I pin her workout and her apartment and New York Fashion Week into my Pinterest board. And then from my mom's Pinterest board, I pin her cooking and, you know, the way that she makes meals and her kindness. And if you understand what I'm saying, I just pin different qualities and attributes from each person that I look up to, which I look up to them as like a source of inspiration, which is literally what Pinterest is. I think this is a great way to change your thought patterns about how you perceive other people, and instead of comparing them to yourself, taking the qualities that you like from them and implementing them into your life. So those experiences, those qualities are something that I aspire to have in my life. I want to attend New York Fashion Week. I want to go to music festivals like Coachella or go to concerts like SZA. I want to get brand deals and work with brands and have the content creator life. That's something that I've always envisioned for myself, even as a young girl. Even when YouTube was just starting and I was watching Alicia Marie, that whole era of like 2015, 2016 YouTube. Yeah, basically just implementing all those qualities and putting it into my Pinterest board, which is also a vision board. So the next question that we need to address is, what is it that you need to change about yourself to achieve that? So I've talked a lot about change, and you need to pinpoint exactly what it is that you need to alter in the life that you're already living that's going to get you to the place where you want to be in the future. The fourth question is, what are new habits that you want to create? What are new routines that you want to create? You really need to think this through, follow through with them, and don't make them super unrealistic either, because if it's like run a mile each day and you're not used to running, you're probably not going to run a mile each day, and then you're going to be unsatisfied with yourself because you promised yourself that you wouldn't run a mile, but you can't, or physically you might not be able to run a mile. So make these routines, these new habits, realistic for the current position that you are in now, and then later on they can change, they can become more intense, they can be less intense. It doesn't matter what it is, but you need to find something that's realistic for you and that's going to work to help you to get to that dream version of yourself. And then another thing is, or the fifth question is, what is one thing that you want to focus on right now? And I know there's probably so much that you want to change within your life, but it's good to just focus on one thing currently, because when you're provided with so many options and choices, it can become very overwhelming. So you can fix one thing or improve on one thing right now, then you can focus on another thing later once that one thing has become established. Depending on how well you can keep this new thing, this new routine, this new habit, that differs for everyone. But if you feel like you've established a habit, you can move on to another aspect of your life that you want to focus on, and then focus on that. So if it's first that you want to focus on your financial situation, put all your energy, your effort into that first before you start focusing on maybe relationships. You know what I mean? If financial stability is something that you really want to achieve, like right now, it's of the utmost importance to you, then focus on that. But then later you can go to different things. So it really just depends on what your dream life looks like and what's important to you. And again, having this mindset of this being your reality and you have total control over it, and you have the power to take control. And I feel like I've been just repeating myself over and over again, but literally you have to believe that this life is yours. And I know that whenever I play, or whenever I would want to play The Sims, my dad is like, you are the sim because you can control your actions. You can, in this life of yours, he's like, why don't you just live life like you are your own avatar and, you know, create this life of your dreams. I like The Sims. Never played The Sims 4. I have the thing. That's a long story, but I've played different versions of The Sims. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically a life simulator game where you have these different locations and you have people that you can create, customize their hair, their dress, what they do, what jobs they work. But literally you're controlling this avatar, this sim. You can do whatever. You can go to the pool one day, you can go to school one day. It just really depends on what it is you're playing. You're controlling this other thing that's not even real. But my dad would always turn it back and be like, why don't you do that for yourself? Why don't you pretend, or not pretend, but like live your life as if you were that sim? Improve your skills in baking or whatever, or read a book, or play piano, or dance, or, you know, all these different things that you can do for yourself, or that you do to the sim that you could do to yourself. It is a life simulator. So implement what you're doing playing the game into your own life if that's what you want to do. You are your own avatar. You can control yourself, put yourself in different spaces, and do different things, dress differently, wear your hair in a new hairstyle. And then now I want to get into like talking about people and who you surround yourself with. You have to walk away from the things, the people that aren't benefiting you, that aren't uplifting you, that aren't supporting you, and who aren't really good for you to become that dream version of yourself. And the Wizard Liz said, some people are not meant to be with the highest version of you. And that went hard, that went deep, because it is true, not everyone is willing to see you unlock your potential, or they don't believe in you, or they're not supportive. And for you to become that dream version of yourself, you need to be surrounded with, whether that's from yourself, that attitude that you can do this, you're being supported by yourself, or you just need to find a new group of people who are like, yeah, you can do that, go for your dreams, achieve your goals, whatever it is. But if you're with people who are holding you back from achieving those goals, then it can kind of pull you back to your comfort zone, and then the progress won't be made. And she also said to become your biggest investment, whether that's physical, you can invest in clearing up your skin, whether that's like changing your diet, going to a dermatologist. You can invest in your hair, making your hair more healthy. Maybe I shouldn't bleach it as much. Or you can invest in your body, going to the gym, just keeping your body fit and moving and agile. You can invest in the food that you consume. So maybe instead of consuming a lot of junk food, you start to eat more salads or less processed foods, eating more whole foods, or eating just a healthier, balanced meal. You can invest in yourself mentally. You can go to therapy if that's an option for you. You can journal. You can do shadow work, or part work. You can meditate, or you can just talk to other people who can help you through things. It doesn't necessarily have to be therapy, because therapy is not accessible for everyone. You can also invest in yourself based on material things, like if you want some new clothes, if you want to change up your wardrobe, because the wardrobe that you have right now isn't really making you feel good. It's not like what your dream version of yourself would wear. You can invest in maybe new technology, a new car, or a new house, living space. Another thing about like having this mindset about believing that you can do this is that you have to match your words with your actions. So if you say that you're going to do something, do it, because otherwise you're going to break this promise to yourself, and you feel like you can't trust. Like it turns into some like inner conflict where you feel like I broke this promise to myself. How can I ever feel like I can change things if I, you know what I'm trying to say? You have to actually do the things that you say that you're going to do. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. And then the last thing that the wizard Liz said was having a wizard mindset, that you are magic, and just genuinely believing that anything that you want to happen will happen to you as long as you put in the work, match your words with your actions, align your desires with with your actions. It's all about manifesting is through actions. Like, you have to put in the work to get what you want. She said to start unlearning what other people taught you. So other people might have given you advice based on their lives in the past and what worked for them, but that might not necessarily be the case for you. You might be trying to lead a different life and doing things that they never even imagined of doing, and maybe stereotypes or cultural beliefs can make you feel like you're limited in a way because you feel like you can't do certain things because of this, whatever it may be. But you have to start unlearning what maybe your teachers taught you, your parents taught you, if it wasn't like aligning to your dream self and your desires. And what happened in their life doesn't necessarily apply to you. You have your own life. It's completely different, especially with all the times changing. Like, I feel like there's so much new technology, there's new generations, there's new everything, and we're not going to be the same as people who maybe lived before us, or were born before us, and they have different life experiences. And you really have the chance to do things differently, to take a chance, to take a risk, see how it works out for you. And even though life is short, we still have time to, especially when you're younger, you have time to make mistakes, take risks, and maybe those mistakes and risks lead to something positive. It could happen, but taking these risks now versus later is probably safer. And I think something I also want to stress is like consistency over perfection, which is also something that Liz said, and I touched on this before when I was talking, but you have to be consistent with your action, because most likely it's not going to be perfect on the first try. Your first business might not be perfect, your first relationship might not be perfect, your first book that you write might not be perfect. You have to keep going and strive for consistency and strive for practicing to get better. And then going back to Alicia Gogan, I remember there was one video, and this relates to like comparing yourself to other people. She said that at the state that you're in right now, let's say you're at chapter 1 of trying to become your dream self. So for example, if you're starting a YouTube channel and you start off with 0 subscribers like everyone else does, and you look at these other creators that you look up to or that you watch a lot, and they might have 100,000 subscribers, or they might have even 1 million, or Alicia Marie has 8 million subscribers, and you are comparing your chapter 1, your day 1, to those other people's chapter 12, chapter 15, and it's creating this unrealistic standard for you, because you're not comparing yourself to their day 1, where they started out just like you with 0 subscribers, and they worked their way up to having however many subscribers they have now. So you have to like think about it realistically. If you're comparing it wouldn't correspond. You're comparing your chapter 1, your day 1, to someone else's chapter whatever it is, but it's much further along than you are. It's just not going to make you feel good, because you're comparing yourself to someone else's, like maybe one of their peaks, right? And I think the last thing that I want to touch on is your conscious beliefs and your subconscious belief. Your conscious belief is like knowing what is good for you, knowing what it is that you want to do to achieve this dream life. But your subconscious beliefs are these automatic thoughts that we have that are ingrained in us from maybe our childhood or past circumstances and situations that have occurred in our lives, and they can be very emotional. And these subconscious thoughts can also be protected, because wanting to stay in that comfort zone, right, it can make you have this feeling of safety, security, being protected, like you're not, nothing else is going to change, this change is not going to happen. But then these can also be limiting. What was comfortable for you is going to limit the change that you take, the action that you take to achieve your dream life. Those subconscious thoughts might not be even valuable anymore, because they worked in the past to maybe protect you from something. Maybe if it was a bad friendship or relationship, like you feel your subconscious might want to like close people out, or like you might want to be just safe with yourself. But if you want to be someone who's friendly and has lots of friends and is very social, but these subconscious beliefs that like, oh, maybe something bad is going to happen if I start making friendships, what if they go south, like things like that, it can really limit you and limit your potential to become the ideal version of yourself who's maybe a social butterfly, going to parties, going to events, going to whatever it is. Addressing these subconscious beliefs and doing shadow work, doing part work is a great method to kind of uncover and really be self-aware of what's going on within you to help you combat those subconscious beliefs and move forward from them. And touching on like negative circumstances and situations that people have in their lives, you can't let these things consume you. And I know I've personally had to learn this, but I can't let these bad things, unfortunate circumstances consume me. I have to move forward from them, and I can't let them affect the way that I think about my life. I have to move forward with confidence and not be consumed by things that happened in the past, because right now the the clock of life is ticking, those sands of time in the, what do you call those things, the sand timer, you know what I'm talking about, like the thing that has the sand. But life is going by, and if I'm just staying stuck in the past while life is getting ahead of me, how am I ever gonna like move forward? Like I need to move forward, and like even though unfortunate things might have happened in the past, that was the past. I only have the future now, and I can't waste my future dwelling on the past. You know what I mean? So I think that's where I want to end off this episode. But if you implement all of these things I've said into your life and really strive to create the dream life that you want, it's going to happen for you. And you just have to believe that it's going to happen for you, because it will. If you put in that effort, that work, and you have that drive and purpose, it's going to happen for you. With that, I think I'm going to end this episode, but I just want to leave you on a positive note. Like, you can do anything that you put your mind to, and I strongly believe that. And please let me know, if whoever's listening, you can DM me on the Let's Talk About Podcast Instagram, which is at let's_talk_about podcast. And you can contact me. Tell me what you're doing, tell me what you're up to, tell me what you're trying to strive towards in life. And I will always be there to motivate you, especially on Motivational Mondays. I post every Monday a motivational quote, so go check that out. Yeah, I have hope that, and I strongly believe that everyone has the potential to do what it is. You just need to unlock that potential and take action. Action, aligned action. Make sure you're taking action. So on that note, I think I'm gonna end today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to me, listening to this episode, listening to the podcast in general. It's greatly appreciated. Don't forget to follow and put your notifications on if you want to get updated when I release a new episode. You can follow the Instagram. I also just update on there pretty regularly. I use stories and stuff, reels, whatever. So yeah, stay in touch, and thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye.